What's up guys, welcome back to Handheld Design Picks. I'm Cam and every single week I rank the 7 best designs that I come across so you can steal the best bits for your design projects. If you like these videos, you can get them straight into your inbox if you subscribe to the newsletter down below. But if you're new here, sit back and let me showcase to you some of the best designers on the internet. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So in 7th place this week, we have a class schedule preview by Michael Nowak. So as you can see, the tags are not any ordinary tags. They actually have like slight depth to them, which get darker on the top and lighter to the bottom. I'm no expert, but I'm sure Michael actually used a inner shadow for these tags to add that depth to it, because if you use an inner shadow, it's way more scalable. So for example, if you have a red fill color, green fill color, blue fill color, you don't have to actually create the values in your design system for the gradients. You can just put one solid fill color, which will be your different color tags. I'm sure that's the route Michael took because it's way more scalable in your design system and when you actually want to build this design out in code. But alongside that, the 4 classes tag has the same inner shadow but with a darker stroke around it and then another lighter stroke around it. So it's just adding little details to add more depth to the design and make it a lot less basic. If you can see the little details in this one little screenshot, then you can probably understand how good the whole app feels as a whole. Michael, I'll be checking out more of your work because your eye for detail is very, very nice. So thank you for sharing that. And that's 7th place. So next up, we have Ikechukwu Joshua with a task creation flow. You can instantly see that this design is very clean. That was the first word that came to my head when I actually saw this design for the first time. If you guys want to actually take some things from this screen, I would say the font looks very, 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 very much similar to Geist, and I'm probably 95% sure that it is Geist, but I can check it out. And if you want to know the answer, it'll be a newsletter, so subscribe down below. Geist to me is a very opinionated font with some of the way some of the letters, like the T's, F's and S's, but it works for this design. I'm very warm into the change of just not using Inter all the time and actually venturing out to different fonts. Beyond the font, the way this form is actually laid out is very scannable at a glance. So as you can see in the different cards, the teams, assignee and due date, we have the actual title of the actual card on the left hand side and then the actual entry for that title or category on the right hand side. And I just feel like it's very scannable at a glance for a task creation flow. Yeah, a nice and easy design for this one, and something that I really enjoyed seeing because it's just so well put together. And if you haven't used Geist font before, check it out because it is a very good alternative to Inter if you want to have a bit of a change in your mobile design inspiration. So next up in 5th place, we have Aman Ansari with a crypto portfolio. I don't know if you checked it out, but 2 weeks ago we talked about how to showcase information that is separate but connected in a way visually, and Studio Sphere actually had a great example of how to do this, and here's another great example from Aman about how to actually showcase information that can be separate but put it together visually because it relates to the same thing. And here where it says exchange and web3, I feel like putting those together without any spacing at all just makes them feel connected and gives us the meaning behind them and how they relate to each other in a nice easy way that's visual, that doesn't really cost anything. It doesn't add any design debt. But yeah, besides that, the whole screen is put together in a very informative and simple way that is easy to understand. I would say for one piece of feedback, I'll probably increase the lightness of the green that's used for showcasing the crypto. I think the green is a bit tad too dark for this dark mode and it'll probably be more suited for a light mode, but if you increase the lightness then we're gonna have no problems at all and the design would be amazing. Also, one component that I really do enjoy is the blurred navbar at the bottom. I haven't really dabbled in using blur in a navbar like when it spans from edge to edge, but I really do like this and it's really warmed me to the idea of using it in one of my next projects. So Aman, I really appreciate some of the design choices you've chosen. If you can increase that lightness on that green text, then this design will be perfect. So I really appreciate you sharing that in and letting us feature it in the Handheld this week. And that being said, if you do want to feature your own work or your own portfolio or app, subscribe to the newsletter below and there should be a sort of submit link where you can submit anything you want that's related to mobile design. So in 4th place this week, we have a task manager interface by Studio Sphere. I'm sorry, I feel like Studio Sphere, I've been in like every single week's design picks, but they just pump out a lot of mobile design work and they're some of the best at it. You can probably tell why this design actually caught my eye. Like the use of progressive blur to ignore the background elements a little bit, but still have them in the view so you can refer to them if you're looking at a description for a task. I know Figma actually just added progressive blur into their application, probably at the start of people starting to use it in the mobile designs. But other than the blur, the one thing that caught my eye was the interaction. And I imagine when you're looking at your task list and you long press on one of the tasks, this is the actual screen that pops up. And I feel like that's such a nice interaction to, one, be fast in checking your tasks and descriptions, but also it just looks great too. I'm super glad that they've put the actual done button in such a bolder color than the actual other actions because again, they know exactly who the designer for. And also on Studio Sphere, as an agency, they just get a gray colored light theme just done very well. I don't know if they use the same color tokens for their gray light themes, but I feel like every single time I see a gray light theme from Studio Sphere, it's always done in the best way. Yeah, if you're looking for a new background color, try light gray for your light mode. That was a great 4th place, and again, again, thank you for always posting great mobile design work. I really do enjoy sharing it to you guys and giving that mobile design inspiration. So, podium time. In third place, we have Iomide with a card customizer. This is a design that I really enjoyed showcasing in Handheld this week, and yeah, I'm going to show you some of the best bits of it. One thing I really do enjoy is a simple designs. You guys probably already know this already. I use Monzo currently, I've used Revolut, and this is probably the simplest way to customize a card. It's just all a user needs. Like for example, Monzo, they use like a slider kind of format and have the information below it to name the virtual card and stuff like that. It's just too much sometimes, but this one, it puts the focus back on the actual task at hand, which is choosing a nice color for a virtual card. If it was landscape, obviously the card would be smaller to fit the width of the phone, but because it's portrait, they can actually make it as big as they want to, really, and like they did in this example here. It's a bit more in your face and it gives you more space to showcase the gradients and the colors and makes it a bit more interesting for the users to see. It seems simple when you look at it in hindsight, but these are real decisions that you have to make when you're actually designing these applications in Figma or in your design tool. One of the two takeaways that I really appreciate that Iomide actually give us a lesson on is actually, first of all, putting the focus on one task for the user to do and making their life as easy as possible, and also keeping supporting UI elements minimal as possible to make the main graphic shine as best as it can. That just makes it very simple, very eye-catching, and very effective when you put it into mobile design. Congratulations on making third place this week on Design Picks. I'll be checking out more of your work because I really do love this screen. So in second place, you have Turks and Isaac with a mood board design. This is a very unique application type, and I'm glad that it's made its way into Handheld Design Picks this week. And I can't wait to show you guys some of the details that I feel like it will help you a lot with your mobile design work. So a bit of context on application. This is like a mood board app like Pinterest, Cosmos, Save, like all those apps that allow you to take images and then put them into one collection or space. This is the application. You can tell it's a lot different from what the other applications are doing in the mobile app space, and I'm really interested in this design and how it would work in the real world too. Turkson could have easily just put the cards in a straight orientation with zero rotation on it and could have called it a day, but Turkson actually went the extra mile and added some rotation to the cards as well to just add that visual intrigue. I've seen these rotated cards by 3 or 5% by a great designer called Daryl Ginn, which is, he's like probably one of the OGs of design world on Twitter. That's kind of his visual style for showing cards in that kind of format. It's a great way just to add some visual variant to your design and add some intrigue to the user as well. And I really like it in this format as well because, again, this app is a bit more fun, like collecting things that you enjoy looking at and then visuals that you want to keep. When I explained about Studio Sphere doing their light gray for light mode, this is a kind of the same variant but for dark mode as well. It's not too harsh on the eye. It's not too deep blacks where text can become fuzzy when you put like white text on a black background, but it's a lot more subdued, a lot more calmer, and again, it's tying into what the application is. It's allowing people to come to their safe place, and this color scheme actually allows them to do that. So one of the things that did interest me in this design is what the animations could look like. When a user clicks onto the board, does it zoom into the actual card and then show the board and all the images where they were? Does it have that fluid, natural animation between the two states of the screen? There's a lot of ideas that Turkson could do with this application, like in the real world, and I hope that they could be done. I really do appreciate you sharing your work, Turkson, and I'll be looking out for some more screens to do with this project as well. Congratulations for making second place. So in first place in this week's design picks, we have Ranjith with his Gold Club step tracker app, and instantly you can see why this is first. Ranjith is becoming one of my favorite designers on X, and everything he posts is of the highest quality. He really gets how to market and how to put great visual into mobile applications and apply that design style throughout the whole app. Ranjith really cares about design, and even if you don't know who he is or know his work, like you can see from the screen that he really cares about design. So for example, not using the regular SF Pro, not using the regular Inter, using the custom font, a font that's a lot more out there and a lot more opinionated, but it really works for this application. He's using a deep dark mode that doesn't sacrifice legibility like we talked about previously. The gradient illustration behind the liquid glass components, like it's just amazing. And on liquid glass as well, that navigation bar is not a common iOS 26 component. Yes, it uses liquid glass, but the shape of it, the tab style is all custom, and it's because Ranjith cares about the details, he cares about design, and you can really tell through this mobile application design. This design is a great learning opportunity just to show you how to add your own taste, your own style, your own bits and pieces that you enjoy the most and apply it to a wider system to get that custom and bespoke feel in your application that isn't tied anywhere else. It's not tied to a software update. Like when your application is updated to the new year's iOS, it won't change drastically because it's still your style, it's still custom, and it's still the design language that you set for it. Not only is this design great, the whole Gold Club app as a whole is amazing, and that's why it deserves the first spot as well. You won't be disappointed because it's full of some great bits. I actually have a Gold Club 1-year membership that Ranjith kindly gave to Handheld design users as well. So if you made it this far, like and comment on the YouTube video. Also like and comment on the newsletter as well, and you'll be in a chance of actually getting this 1 year free membership for the Go Club application. It is a very well designed habit tracker that you need on your iPhone. Actually, I could do a review for that one day. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the newsletter to be the first to know about that if that actually drops. Ranjiv, thank you for sharing your work as always, because the Go Club app is probably one of the best design apps that I've seen in a long time, as I said before, and rightly so. You deserve first place for this design. That's it for design picks. Thank you for being here. So congrats to Ranjiv, Turkson and Iomide on getting the podium, and all the other featured designers that were included in this week's design picks. I hope you found some value in this week's design picks and all the designs that we've shown. Let me know what you steal. Let me know what gave you inspiration for your mobile design projects. My name's Cam. I'll be here every single week sharing the best mobile design that I come across. Subscribe to the newsletter so you can get this video and the newsletter format straight into your inbox every single week. Follow Handheld on X for daily inspiration on your feeds, where I post the designs every single day without fail, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel as well so you can see these videos whenever they drop. And with that being said, I'll see you next week. Peace.